hopefully be in and out as well.
Alrighty, hey everybody, we're back. Welcome to another edition of the Morning Crow. I don't hear it. Come on. And there's no crows out this morning. I don't know. Is it getting too cold for them now?
Not here.
You got okay. Good to have William back.
Alrighty, hey everybody, we're
Who's that?
back.
Michael? Oh, Michael is running. You're running the live feed.
Morning Crow.
Oh boy. So I don't know if you've seen the event page. Kind of randomly chose a few topics that I got off a Drudge Report. You know, a couple of serious ones and a couple of not so serious. Just you know. But I want to talk about Trump. Trump, China, Satanist, and Grace. And Grace is not what you think, but I'll let you in on it afterwards. But
Wow.
just a funny story. That's all. To end the show with a funny story. You guys, did you see the Trump rally?
Now, I didn't see the Trump rally. The last thing that I saw with Trump in it was the debate and then the little fallout afterwards about Megyn Kelly and the questions that she was, you know what I'm talking about she was being too aggressive, or I don't know. It was all silly.
Oh, well, I think she was asking him because he made some crude comments about women in the past, especially Rosie O'Donnell, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have a problem with that.
but you did see the debate, though.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
digging up old shit, though. That's just digging up old shit.
Yeah. hmm Well, the rally, I mean, this past, I don't know if you want to comment about the debate.
Now, tell me about the rally. What all happened?
Okay, they had a rally in Alabama, Mobile, Alabama,
Hmm.
and originally he was supposed to be like in a place where they seated 10,000. I mean, I think
Yeah.
he was only expecting a couple of thousand, and then it grew. He got a place for 10,000, there was overflow, and he wound up taking the stadium there. And yeah, from the looks of it, the stadium, which holds 40,000, it looked like from what I saw on TV that sucker was,
Well,
pretty up.
John, that's not indicative of anything because the
I
same
know. I'm
thing was
just
happening with Ron Paul, and it never even got
yeah,
coverage.
yeah.
But I thought about this the other day. Imagine if it comes down between Trump and Hillary. I don't believe that either one of them. I mean, I think the whole system is just a distraction. But
He
Right.
is
And
rational.
I don't think
He's
Hillary
lucky
has
they
it.
don't put her in the big house instead of the White
Yeah,
House.
hey, if
yeah.
it goes that way. But like, who is it really? Who do you think it's going to come down to? Because I think it's hard to argue with Trump being up there, and I mean, he's
hmm
getting all the attention. It seems like he's being set up for something.
I don't know. Yeah, he has a lot of attention, but still early yet. What? We're 14, 16 months out.
Okay, but
Um,
that's all you need, though. We saw that with Obama. You don't have to say anything really.
mhm.
You could just be a rock star. You could just come on there as something new and fresh
Yeah.
or something people can get behind.
You
Can't
just
even
have to, you just have to be paid for. It's really simple.
Hey, Art.
I think from the rally, I was disappointed. I'll tell you. Um, if you saw the rally, and also, you catch in the debate. We know this about Trump that he is quite narcissistic. Okay,
Yeah.
and yeah, everything is I've done this, I'm worth this, I got this going on. My name's over here. Even though he tries to false humility, I'm not trying to be egotistic or
In addition to
whatever.
being a huge contributor to the Clinton Foundation. You don't think
Okay, yeah.
this
Really?
bullshit, do you?
Really? The
But I
Clinton
would,
guy.
yeah. But I would say what makes Trump resonate with so many is that what I did like it was comical. If you get a chance to see some clips of the rally, I mean, he was not
He's a
acting. He
reality
was
star.
not like a politician at all.
Just
He was up
reality.
there. Yeah, he was
A
just.
reality shit show, no less.
Yeah, yeah, and I kind of liked it, but there were probably things he said that would not
It's a new
be.
version of The Apprentice, nothing
Well,
more.
but what is
Yeah,
it? Do you think that he? All right, let me because I
well,
don't know where you guys stand on the voting thing, but do you think that he's being set up as a serious candidate for president,
No,
or is he a fall guy? Is he a?
he's just a distraction. He does not have the gravitas, and he doesn't have
I,
the connection. Because here's the deal: you got to be skull and bones, and he isn't.
How do you know that?
Because he isn't.
I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't just have to be skull and
He
bone.
didn't follow the path of everybody else.
All right. Well,
I think Trump is just in this because it's about Trump. It's about, oh wow, if I,
so he's
what
running
could I do
solely.
next? I want to be president.
Is he the stray dog then? Is he the one that's not on a leash to either part? I mean, to
I think,
anybody's control?
I think he is a straight dog.
I think he's there to take the heat off of Hillary, and then when the time comes, and when Trump
How's
has
he
to
getting
fall
the
out
heat
of
off of Hillary? Hillary's getting a lot of heat.
all those people will then go to Hillary.
I think Hillary's
What?
getting a lot of
Like
heat
another
right now.
Ross Perot deal.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, think about it. Who is he pulling that would ever go to Hillary? I don't think that their votes would go to Hillary. I think it would go to someone. I mean, not even Bernie Sanders could scoop up those
But
votes.
remember, Hillary and Jeb are the same wings on
Yeah.
the same vulture, or two wings
Yeah.
on the same vulture. They have the same plan. I mean, you're not voting for anything different. This is such a moot discussion.
Well, no, I mean, the people are voting. They're doing the voting. Not that their vote matters. It's not going to seat one person in there. However it plays out is how it plays out. But the people are voting because it's their ritual, it's their custom. It makes them believe they got a
There you
choice.
go. That was
And
the key word, William. Ritual.
And it's interesting to watch how it plays out because it tells you a lot about the people. I mean, look how.
But
Why are people
if,
getting behind Trump? It's obvious. He's
if Trump,
saying stuff. He's just saying what a lot of people are saying.
if Trump bows out, I don't think he's going to be in. They're going to ask him who you endorsing, and what comes out of his mouth, I think, is going to be pretty influential to the voters, whether they can count or not. But
Do
I
you
don't
think he'll
see him
bow out?
either. I don't see. Huh?
You think he'll bow out, or do you think that they'll expose
No, I'm just saying
something?
if. I don't know if he bows out, if it comes to a point months down the road that the numbers start falling, and other people, he might say, you know what, I'm not going to throw any more money into this. I don't know. I'm just saying if. At this point in the game, I don't see him endorsing either Clinton nor Bush, especially for some of the things he's been saying about both of them. His endorsement ain't gonna mean shit. It ain't gonna have no credibility. But then again, people have short memories. But the thing with Trump is that besides his narcissism, he's got ADD for
Michael,
sure. If you were watching the rally, he would start talking about a topic, and then he just got so sidetracked back to him. So there was a lot of substance missing. There was a lot of meat. There was a lot of words, but no meat. And he had all this other rhetoric and comical stuff. I had no doubt he makes his point. He's different, that's for sure. But I don't know.
He's no different.
I'm just saying I don't know how he's definitely, if he's gonna be talking publicly, he's gonna have to get some more. He's gotta get a little bit more focus.
Dude, not everybody's like you, John. Not everybody's looking for the substance. Most people, except this, okay? Most people are looking for a slogan that'll stick in their head. That's it. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. That's all they need. They're sheep, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm saying that. You knew I was gonna say that, dude. It's not the issues that are. I mean, the people are going after Trump because they watched his show, okay, or that they knew about him. They're interested, and he's saying some things that they've said over a couple of beers here and there, and they're getting behind him. But these people that are following Trump are really, most of these clowns are not actually understanding the issues that they're even getting behind. They just do what's trendy, and right now Trump is trendy. For the, I guess, the Tea Partiers, is that what they're called now? Everybody that's conservative is a Tea Partier.
Yeah.
Tea-tards, I've heard that before. So
What happened at the Tea Party? I really don't hear anything you don't see much
You don't
publicized.
you don't see them doing much of anything, yeah. Now, whether that's because they're not doing anything or because it's not televised, but you do hear them being talked about constantly by the left. Constantly. Like there's this terrorist group of retarded people called the Tea Party who are out trying to destroy democracy in a republic, which is interesting.
Mm.
Hey, don't get hypnotized staring at my avatar, dude. I know it's easy. I know that's probably what you're doing right now. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's the same view that Hillary Clinton's dentist sees every. Okay.
Oh, I see a Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Okay, it says shark.
Yeah. Holy shit! I was watching that all the time. Holy fuck! That is not real. Come on, that shark
Yeah.
is not
Watch
real.
it. Watch it.
I mean,
That's not a real shark. Come on, that's not a real shark.
that's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a fake shark.
that's
It's a fake
kind of
shark.
that's bigger than, I don't know, maybe not. But I was thinking of Megalodon. Is this the Discovery fictional sort of documentary about Megalodon? I read they had something like that.
I don't know.
'Cause
But
that shark,
I didn't make the GIF. I don't.
oh yeah, because that shark, that's not a white shark. That's fuck hell no.
So, William, who do you think is going to be ultimately endorsed by the Republicans?
By the Republicans?
Yeah.
My conspiracy itch says Bush, but that's because of the legacy that's continued to go on. But
Your
I'm not.
conspiracy sense is tingling.
Yeah. My conspiracy sense is going crazy. But no, because it could go. Yeah, I could see that being the Republican endorsement if he is earmarked to go in to office. Now, if he's not, then I think that it'll be somebody, maybe even Rand Paul, somebody, a little more libertarian or a little more different. Just so they can lose, but seem like they got close. I don't know. I really don't know it, and I don't know much. I have not seen anything likable in anything on the left. I mean, there's like the closest one I can get to even smiling at is Bernie Sanders.
Now the Republican, we have the House and the Senate now, right? The Republicans have House and Senate right now. I think so. I believe so, right?
I suppose. I have not kept up with that.
I think the last time that happened, if you had all three branches were Republican, was that Reagan years maybe? Is it the Reagan years or early?
Yeah.
90s.
That's the Clinton era, is the 90s.
Well, right before Clinton got in, I think. But anyway, my disappointment was that, if you had majority of the House and Senate and you have the presidency, you should be able to get shit done. That's how
Yeah. But there's. I want to go down conspiracy trail again. Zip.
What? Don't call it a conspiracy trail.
I'm just saying, there's so many different global agendas going on. I mean, it's almost with Agenda 21 and the Common Core re-education program and all these things that's going on. It's hard to believe that anybody's voting for this activity. Like anybody out there is going, this seems like a good idea. Let's do this. Yet it's happening, and then people are still lining up and voting. And it's funny that regardless of what they say on the campaign trail, as soon as they get into office, their opposition to these things, like the Patriot Act or whatever. I mean, it could be if a like local level politicians are against the Common Core and Agenda 21, but as soon as they get in there, it's sort of like we're just not going to talk about it anymore. It's going to continue to go on. And people are going to call their offices and try and get their attention, but nothing's going to happen. These things are it's part of a global agenda. I mean, we're to be a global government. That's what I think.
Yeah, I wonder what Trump's stance is on the. I don't think he said anything about the Patriot Act. What he would do about that.
Like you said, he doesn't have any substance to what he's saying.
I mean, he says he'll want to do a lot of stuff, but not exactly. He's not saying how. He's not saying how.
You know what? Trump is at the point, I think, that he would even guarantee to all the UFO crowd that he would release. I'll open up Area 51 if you put me in there. He's saying a bunch of shit that he doesn't know anything about. He's just.
I'll
Who
buy
said that?
Area 51. It'll be Trump Area 51.
Wait, that's what Trump said?
No, I'm saying that
No,
I think at this point he's willing to say anything, including things that he has no control over. I'll shut down the military. Not that he would say that, but he would just make wild claims and know that people just go, well, he said he's going to do it. So, which, they never.
He wants to build the wall, on the Mexican border.
How many years have we had to end this the wars in the Middle East? I mean, we could have been out of this a long. When Obama came in, he was talking about we're going to bring our troops back. Yeah. Within 8 months of me being elected, I'm going to bring our troops back. Let me be clear. And he clearly did not do anything. I mean, it's just.
Well, it's
Well,
it's
some
just
came
that
some came back from Iraq, but then they were put somewhere else.
Redeployed, right? Right back in the crumble.
You have to guys realize that Bush started this whole nonsense by going into Iraq without any plan whatsoever, without proper understanding of the balances in the Middle East, and destabilized the whole region. And now we have ISIS there, right? Which is it's hard to allow such a horrible ideology to control any land in our planet. I mean,
I'm gonna do you one better though, dude. It's not that they didn't know that this is all a surprise to them. They know about backlash. These people study this stuff. The CIA is intentionally there to create assets and be able to control different regions of foreign territory, and that's what they've done with ISIS. They've created something, but with the full understanding of what they're doing. This is not an accident.
Yeah, I think Bush was pushed into this because he needed to look like he's retaliating against, he's avenging the 9/11, right? He
needs to look that way. But see, the whole point of 9/11 was to get us over there. You have to give the people a reason to give their money and their children to a cause. And that's what this is. And from the start, this has been about other things than what we're being sold.
Speaking of 9/11, I think we'll be doing a 9/11 Morning Crow, and we'll be exploring that, and we'll revisit that.
Ooh, that sounds like a great idea. The 9/11 revisited on 9/11.
Are skeptics allowed?
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Sure, definitely.
That's actually probably the best thing that can happen is skeptics come in and actually sit and look at the data. Now you're gonna you can't really do a YouTube app for a live show,
but I don't want to get off topic, but
yeah, sorry. That sounds like a great idea though.
Yeah.
No, get on topic. I'm just gonna have a bowl.
Yeah, but if I don't see Trump getting a little bit more, less of, me, and a little bit more of some meat, I don't think these numbers are going to sustain after a while.
No.
Now, no doubt. I mean, Trump gets shit done. I mean, he's a billionaire, He's got the people, right, to do this stuff that work for him. You need a good team, and, apparently he's got these, negotiators, and I'm sure, if they help him out, if they're going to be part of his cabinet, maybe shit can get done, if we could get past him,
Well, as long as he doesn't mind having his dirt thrown out there, and he seems to mind how he looks to the public, but that's going to be one of the things that they're really going to dig deep on him. They're going to even, and if possible, and it's possible, they're going to even entrap him to get control of him. If he, like you say, is a stray dog, and he's out there, they've got to get him to heel.
Yeah, because he's got to watch what comes out of his mouth, because he's just too loose-lipped. You like to hear what he's saying, but at the same time, he lets things out of that could be. Oh man, like he used the word killer. Killers, they're killers, like in his rally, and taken out of context, you could have been like, he could have been taken literally.
Yeah.
Well, guys, do you think Trump has any chance of winning at all? Because I've heard that Hillary is the main sort of
Oh my God.
Prodigy or whatever.
I hope that no one's really feeling like the only choice we have left is Hillary Clinton, because no, not even gonna entertain that idea as being serious. If it does happen, it's just gonna shock the shit right out of me.
Well,
I'll know for sure voting does not work.
Yeah, even though I'm not American, I feel really sorry for you guys who are in America because your choices aren't really that good there. There's not even one, scientist I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I would vote for him, like for sure. Or some other actual intellectual, not a lawyer.
I don't care if it's a carpenter. I don't care if it's I don't know. It could be an accountant. I don't give a shit. He's got to understand what's going on and be willing to not just go with the status quo, not accept things the way they are. And that nobody's got those balls. Nobody's going to go against the way things are done in Washington. That's just the way the corporation is run.
Maybe we should elect the people as the president.
Well, that was the whole point. That was the whole point. And if that's not what's happening, it's been even the best intentions we have, it's still been corrupted.
How about term limits for Congress? I think because that's where that's where the issue is. You got
Congress and Senate need very defined lines of. I mean, this lifetime shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same. It's the same problem you have in public schools with schools with tenure. I mean, you can't get rid of the bad ones.
This lifetime, being able to be a congressman lifetime, only encourages the corruption.
That's some weird Roman kind of thing, right?
Okay, so wait, I didn't know. So if you're an American congressman, you cannot be fired, essentially? Or?
You can unlimited terms
or whatever
you could serve.
Wow.
You can get voted in, yeah.
Shit. Okay, that's a problem. That is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have
presidents. You good?
You could be remember in the Roman days, you'd be consul for life in the Roman Empire. You could just like Caesar declared himself imperator, for the rest of his life. It's the same kind of thing, man. These people get up there, and as long as they can, convince the people they're doing something, they'll keep running and running and running and running, and it's not like their popularity goes down unless the right kind of dirt comes out on them. So people just continue to think we got the best, we got the best, we got the best. Meanwhile, these people are doing nothing. They just talk. So yeah, you end up stuck in the mud.
Maybe we should invent an AI and let it govern us.
How about we just don't try and control each other?
Yeah, I don't know. We kind of need some form of control over each other. I mean, police is necessary, right? I mean, if it's not police, people will just,
You don't think people police their own areas and neighborhoods and stuff like that? You don't.
Yeah, but that is subject to bias, horrible bias.
There is that potential, but as long as people are defending their own shit, I mean, I think that the most limited government you can imagine is what I say.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's gonna be defending good against other outside forces, but inside them it's gonna be hard because you will have forming friendships and and that's will lead to bias, ostracizing of minorities. I think it should be independent of that region. I think it should be federal.
Oh man, nah.
I think so. Really, you should as somebody who decides on the streets who is right, who's wrong. You should not have a stake.
No, they don't.
No, that's not their job. Their job is not to decide who's right or wrong.
Well, to an extent, yeah, I know they're not the judge. I know this is not Judge Dredd, but still, I mean, in kind of kind of hard to explain this. There is some inherent bias in all of us, right?
Yeah.
And when you see, like for example, here in Czech Republic, we have a huge bias against Romanese. Even the police kind of has it. And I would think if it was just regional, if it was just that small region, and the police were from that region, they would want these people gone because they cause trouble.
Yeah, but see, if you keep that small enough, the police force is controllable, where they're not rolling in on you with tanks and assault weapons and everything else for disagreeing. You can keep them in check. You can keep a small force in check. You can't do that regardless of their bias. If they get out of control, it's easy to get rid of every last one of them. They can either resign or they can be removed by the people.
Hard. If they're from the region,
how are you gonna not have a police from the region? Where are they gonna live? They're gonna be they're gonna be living in that area.
well, I mean, controlled by somebody outside, right? Like
that doesn't make me feel any better. Controlled by somebody on the outside.
I mean, what do you?
No. Well, see, we have our state sovereignty. It's all based on the region, yeah, because you have to have jury of your peers and all that. But more than that, we have individual sovereignty that even surpasses the fiction of the state. And we got to be careful when we try to give people the power to step on individual rights, and that's inevitable with whenever you start granting authority to men over other men, and there's no such authority to be given. I mean, that's just one of the dangers. As soon as that starts happening, it grows and grows. It's just the nature of man.
Okay, if you don't have a central sort of federal kind of enforcement force, what if one region decides that, hey, we don't like the other region, let's go fuck them up, and the other region doesn't have enough force to defend themselves? Who is going to employ justice there?
Do you think that that's a likely scenario that everybody...
That happened.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't have to be everybody, just the people with guns.
So you think that all the other regions will just sit back and go, yeah, I'm sure it'll stop with them.
Ah, okay. Let's say that majority of regions agree that we should fuck up the other regions.
Oh, like a civil war?
Kind of like, yeah.
Well, civil wars happen, man.
Right, but if you have a central government, they can put a stop to this. So,
well, sometimes wars are necessary to reset everything. You know, a revolution needs to happen from time to time so you can clear out everything. And if it gets to the point where it's not being done regularly, yeah, you will have a civil war. And in which case, it still sets it all back to a clean slate. You know, you start over, you rebuild.
Well, I don't know. Politics is not my thing. I live in a calm part of, our small planet here. It's like these things don't really touch us.
Right. Well, hopefully you never have to face a corrupt government. It's weird that you think yours isn't, but...
Oh, I don't think it's not, but I'm talking about like the guns and, we have a relatively uniform society here in the Czech Republic. So
you don't have guns there?
You can own guns, but they're heavily regulated. Holy shit! But you can still shoot them on what they're called, shooting ranges.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm sidelining this conversation because we're totally drifting away from the.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just gonna rein it in as, oh no, we're gonna go into guns. No, not.
Yeah. I'm way ahead of you, man. I realize
It's all good. All good. I guess I'll take this opportunity to go on to the next subject, China.
Ooh.
Devaluing their currency. Market took a big dip last week. I think it took a further dip today or earlier today. I don't know. They're ahead of us, right? They're a few hours, number of hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nighttime over there now. But I think it took another dip, a couple hundred points. And then that kind of echoed over here a bit, right? Our market. I don't know where we're at now. I know they're probably definitely looking at it very closely today, because we did have 500-point dip Friday. Yeah. But
does anybody know what caused it? Sorry.
It's probably a reaction to China, That's what
I mean the China thing. What happened in China that their market has dropped?
They devalued their currency.
They made the mistake of loaning us money. Should have never done that.
I just don't get the yen as well. This is a totally off subject, but you know how like $1 billion yen is like $1. Why make it such a huge number?
Well, it's devalued. It's what happened to Turkey. and with the German, what was it, German mark in the Second World War,
Yeah.
before it started, Hitler devalued it because it printed so much money.
Well, that makes sense to me.
Printing money is kind of a short short solution, right? It's a short solution. On the long run, you're making a lot of trouble for yourself, and overproduce the money there.
Would you like to tell that to our government? Because we've been trying to tell them that shit for a long time and no one's listening.
Well, that's the thing. It depends on how much people value your money, right? If you're a superpower, which America is, your money is still going to be valued. You have a much bigger sort of a leeway, which how much money you can, print out of
tell me
thin
this,
air before it becomes devaluated completely.
why is our money value just because of our size? I mean, even amongst our own people, we realize that it's backed by nothing.
Well, because the other people value you're respected. You have a huge military. Nobody can fuck with you. Well, not at least without any heavy losses, right? So
Right.
it's about that's the advantage of a system that is not dependent on anything solid, like the gold standard kind of thing. Is that
It's the advantage and disadvantage, isn't it? It's
Oh yeah, there's disadvantage.
It's definitely a huge downside to that, but I am interested in how that works as far as keeping that illusion going, keeping everybody.
Well, yeah, if you like print a lot of money, right, for
Yeah.
example, and you invest it immediately, for example, into technology, into industry, and people see that, hey, your country is growing as fuck and it's becoming a power, they don't give a fuck that you printed this money from thin air, and it's technically has no value, but they
Right.
see what you did with it, right, and that keeps the value of the money stable. At least that's how I view it. But there are different theories of how it works.
Hey, Chaz.
Hey,
Hiya.
Chaz.
I just want to correct you. Hitler didn't devalue the German currency. It was after the First World War. Germany was meant to pay back a lot of countries for damages, such as the French were, and because of that, they were paying huge amounts of money out. So they had raised taxes incredibly. So people were being paid essentially millions and millions of pounds for their jobs. I mean, there is photos of kids playing with wads of banknotes because, people were taking home wheelbarrows full of money, but then a loaf of bread cost like 1,000 marks.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what devalued the currency, was there was so much of it. If you endlessly print your money, then it becomes meaningless. If everybody had £1 million, yeah, having £1 million wouldn't actually have any value.
Yeah, you couldn't even buy a loaf of bread with that then.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm not
This
sure
is
how
why
this
you
exactly
get
works.
inflation every year, because your government is constantly printing out money every year at the same point as there will always be more money, because there's supposed to always be growth. So if there's more money and there's always growth, it means the value of that currency dips down a bit. So the way that's corrected is that the price of everything creeps up a little bit every year.
There you go.
And wow,
fall
it
in
is
love with you again.
absolutely pissing it down here. It is biblical. Like literally, my bay windows have just like water running down them, just like a whole sheet of water. Like, it is incredible.
We had that 2 or 3 days ago. It was mind-blowing, the amount of water coming down.
Yeah, we had the same thing a few days ago, or a week ago.
And we're waiting on a hurricane, so that's good.
Yeah.
We've got a heat
Are you?
in the northeast of England. It's ridiculously hot.
Is it, mate? I'm down in the southeast and it's fucking cold and piss raining.
Well, don't blame me for sending it down there, mate.
I think this has actually come from over the Medway.
Right.
Is this, Brojo, on your avatar, is this your way of segueing to the next topic? Or are you pushing the Satanist thing now?
No, that's that. Once we're done with China and talking about the economy, and
Okay, I thought
do you
you were
think
just
this
trying to
you think this bubble's about to burst or what?
What, the economy? You see, the problem is that the main problem with economies, especially in like America and Britain, is we've got a small group of people who are trying to control it so that they benefit, and they are. And part of the ways that they benefit it is suppressing things like the minimum wage. So the minimum wage has gone up by 1%, and the actual cost of living goes up by 2 or 3% every year. And this deficit, just keeps accruing every year. So you now have people who can't afford to live on their income. You need dual working families, and there's less money that the majority of society have to consume. And when there's less people able to consume, there's less consumption going on. If there's less consumption going on, then there's less need for manufacturing. If I own a Coca-Cola factory and I'm only ever going to sell 50,000 cans a year, I'm not going to be making 2 million cans a year. I'm obviously going to only be making enough to cover that 50,000 cans. And that's the problem with what's going on.
Yeah, and the government just thinks, oh, let's just take more, right? We got to pay these bills, so we'll tax more, and it becomes even, vicious cycle.
What would be a better idea is, rather than trying to blame the poor, the government admits that it and the sort of like the rich elite that it is in cahoots with are the problem. The government's taking far much money. Like, for instance, people in the House of Parliament shouldn't get paid the salaries near enough what they actually do. There's tons of waste. For instance, they're drinking things like champagne and all of these things. They have high-class booze stocking the bar in the Houses of Parliament. It's essentially the government and the rich elite have just become the new aristocracy, and they get rich from taking from the poor. They keep trying to cut services which help the majority of people, things like the welfare. They want to blame, because we're paying all of these people while they're out of work to help them stay in the economy as consumers. If we stop giving them as much money, that means we can pay our bills. How about you stop giving tax loopholes to Google and all of these other companies and make them actually pay their taxes? And when they haven't, you go after them for the tax that they owe, plus interest on the tax by the interest rates that you yourselves are setting. And then you might find, rather than blaming, the wrong people, and you start doing what you should be doing, suddenly there's not all of this money missing from the economy that should have always been there, and then there's no fucking problems. And it's the same in America.
Yeah, like we were touching upon a lot of these. The Congress is they're career employees. There's no term limits, and this is just constantly encourages the corruption, and to be influenced by special interests and lobbies and corporations' money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the thing. If money is the thing that buys you favors in society, then whoever has the most money gets the most favors. And this is why we need the idea of that we used to have in the past. Like, Clement Attlee is by far the greatest politician that Britain ever had. And what he did was he rebuilt Britain pretty much after the Second World War. His government created the NHS. They built loads of houses. They helped bring down the unemployment. They set up the welfare system and all of these things. They set up the job seekers allowance, as we now call it, or the dole, or whatever another name you might know it under. And since that's happened, there's then been this neoliberalist ideology that came in the 70s in both Britain and America. And what this neoliberalism says is that everything should be entirely private interest, and that they want to sell off anything that's ever been operated by the government, essentially. So, any sort of federal system, like any type of like for instance the NHS, they're always looking to try and get rid of that. They will underfund these things, and they will use the media to turn the public against their own interest, and so they can then sell it off to their corporate friends, and they make a tidy sum from it. The people who are now in charge of the NHS's future, the Conservative Party, most of the key figures, such as David Cameron and George Osborne, would actually financially benefit from privatising the NHS. And we have that huge conflict of interest there.
Same old, same old.
Mm.
Other thing troubling me here, I'm looking at the oil prices, and the Saudis have been dumping out extra oil there to bring down the price. From what's being reported is to combat against the U.S. Shale companies, fracking companies, try to put them out of business there. And we got here now an estimate at 1 year forecast of $46 a barrel. That's down like $6 over the past week. But the thing is, the gas prices here, and I know we shouldn't complain about our gas prices here in the U.S. I get it.
You mean petrol prices?
Well, you call petrol, we call it gas.
Because what we call gas is like methane.
Right.
And funny enough, the gas and the oil prices are actually linked here in the UK, and they do affect the electric costs heavily because of a lot of the generation comes from burning oil and gas.
Sure. Yeah.
And I mean, here's the thing though, even though the price comes down, do you really think we as consumers will see that, or do you think only the companies will see that in their profit margins going up?
That's the thing, and I think it goes to show it's just there's one, more taxes, and two, more money just in that's been printed in the system, because it just goes to show the devaluing of the dollar. If I go back maybe right before Obama took the presidency 8 years ago, 9 years ago, a barrel of gas was $70-something. But here at the pump, you were paying under $2 a gallon. Now, a barrel is we'll get $46 to $50 a barrel, and the price is national average for regular is like $2.50. So there's a lot of gouging going on there. Yeah.
Oh, of course. Just because I can get my product cheaper doesn't mean I'm going to sell it to you cheaper. And that's the problem. There's nothing wrong with making a profit, but there is a problem when you start profiteering.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go to our next subject. We're going to lighten things up a little bit. Let me get the link up.
I'm just interested to what the topic of grace is.
It's not what you think it is.
We're going to say a little prayer before we end the hangout. Is that you're going to do, Bro Joe? Because as an atheist, I'm going to have to heavily cry when that happens. I'm going to have to make a big deal and rage quit. Start my own hangout just to bash you for 20 minutes.
I don't think it's going to happen there. That's why I just put grace, because I figure people are going to be wondering, what is it? Maybe a religious discussion. Let me get... Where's our next story? The Satanist.
Is this the one about the statue?
On the way home, let me get...
Oh, no.
I got this damn commercial running. There it is. Satan worshippers drown women with milk in Planned Parenthood counter protest. Now, when I first saw this headline, I'm like, what? Did they actually drown somebody?
Did they just pour milk over him? Is
Yeah,
that
that's
essentially what they
they
did?
did. And there's a video playing now. Let me I'll put a link to the story here, and I'll do that a little later. Anyone else wants to look at it?
Do you
But
know what? If you're going to talk about Planned Parenthood, I want to talk about this batshit insane non-offense that's been going on about, like, oh my God, Planned Parenthood have been selling, like, the parts for scientific and medical research, and I'm just like, really, you have a problem with them doing that? Or what? It's like when people found out that, like, the NHS had been keeping the brains of people who had been deceased without the deceased's family aware of it, and it came out they had like this warehouse full of brains in jars, and they'd been using them for research, and all of these people were so offended that their family member's brain had been in a jar being researched on, and not in a ditch where it can rot.
well, I mean, with that, it would have for me it'd have to be a case by case. If someone is donating their organs, right out, put down their driver's license or something, then if that's like my wishes, then yeah, I have no problem with that. But if it's the wishes are not fully explained, and someone just goes ahead and takes someone's brains out, and then and preserve them, and especially, I mean, um, you gotta respect people's, if they're definitely for religious reasons, they think it's sacrilegious. I gotta respect that.
Well, no, you don't, because I mean, should your batshit insane ideas hold back the rest of human society?
Well,
Should
but
no, but Brojo, like, hear me out on this. Should you be able to go, oh, I don't want my organs to say people like I want to damn other people, yeah, for my own sake, or that's based on utter fucking nonsense.
But the thing is, do you own your own body?
When you're
And
dead, no.
and
Once you die, you don't own your body. Once you're dead, I tell you what we should do. Once you die, yeah, your body should be taken. Any organs which can be used from your body for medical research and for medical and scientific purposes should be taken. Anything else
so bad
should
enough
be
that
slung
bad
into an
enough that the
incinerator and burnt to produce electricity.
so
That is what
bad
should
enough
happen.
bad enough that the government kind of owns you when you're alive. You want them to be able to just come and take your body parts and
No,
at
not the
will.
government. This has nothing to do with government.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, but who's taking the parts? Who's taking them? Who how and by
Anybody who
what right?
wants to.
Uh, well, you
What
know
they should
what?
do is they should carve you up and go, we got some hearts here. Any scientific research people doing anything with hearts? Me, that you can have that. Anyone want lungs? Lungs, got lungs. No. Anybody want his kidney? Right, and then right, everything else is just crap. Send it to the incinerator. We can generate a few more wattage.
Listen,
That's what should just happen.
I
We should
understand. Hey,
stop
when I'm
this
dead, I'm dead. I
nonsense.
understand, and this is why. I mean, I'm an organ donor. It's on my driver's license. Hopefully, yeah, helps someone else's life. But I think that still has to be an individual choice. If you feel that way, then you and all the other atheists can
But
just
why?
donate
But why an
make sure your
individual's
parts get
choice?
donated. But just having someone come in and say, nope, sorry, you can't bury your loved one. We need his parts. I don't think that's gonna fly.
What's the point of burying somebody? I
I
mean,
understand. I am with you. I'm with you.
okay, there's two uses for a body, right? Once you've taken all of the organs, the crap that's left over, there should be one or two things done. You should either be turned into stuff that can be burnt to make electricity, or you should be slung in the ground as fertilizer. They're the only two choices. Well, I mean, we either cremate or we bury. Let's bury people for fertilizer. None of this wooden coffin and all fancy stuff, which isn't about the deceased. It's all about the people who knew that deceased. It's all a very self-indulgent thing that's mainly about people's own insecurities and fears of their own mortality. No, none of that. The person's dead. Oh well, nice to know you. Sling him in a ditch and just shrug your shoulders and walk off. That's essentially what it is. And people should stop all of this fucking sensationalism and silliness in the world, because really there is so much more we could accomplish without it.
I totally hear you, Chaz. I really can't disagree. But at the same time, everybody's different. Everyone's got their beliefs, and
Like me, just shove me on a pyre, set fire to it, shrug your shoulders, and fuck off and get back to your lives. I mean, I'm dead. What do you think I'm going to be doing? Fucking applauding you from the sidelines? No, there is no afterlife. Once that biomechanical machine shuts down, fuck off. That's essentially, because I already have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're so friendly in the morning.
Hey, good morning, sugar.
Good morning.
But Chaz, you got your own wishes, and I guess when you die and how you live too, you want people to respect those wishes, and it's just the same for others.
It's not about wishes. It's just about common fucking sense. If my body can do something to help the human race, then it should be experimented on as much as possible. And hey, there's tons of awesome. Maybe they can find the awesome gene and stop all of these people being wankers in life. Who knows? But and until then, what we should do is keep on doing lots of medical research, keep on doing lots of scientific research that will help us understand more about humans and stuff like that, and give up all of this other silly nonsense that's done nothing.
Well, that's going to take some kind of legislation, right? They're going to have to pass something for this to happen, and with the amount of religious people you have, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But I think meanwhile, you could you can make it known that you want to donate it. You want to donate your body.
I could respect your wishes if you had something credible to back them up with. Yeah, like for instance, if you were to say, "Oh, I want to be taxidermied so that I can be like sat up in my home," yeah, or I want my remains to be mummified.
I don't think they'll allow that. I don't think they will allow that.
Yeah, if you had some sort of valid reason for that, like let's say you're a celebrity, you're world famous, and you want to be mummified and preserved in a museum, so as an icon of the time, like Schwarzenegger. Yeah, we hollow him out, we fill him with sand, stick him in the Hard Rock Cafe in a vacuum sealed glass case, then that's fine. His wishes can be honoured because there's some sort of vague reason. But if it's just
a lot of tickets,
I have some strange fucking ideas and feelings here about the world, no, go and shove them where the sun doesn't shine.
Now you know why I spend so much time with him. Oh, yes, hell.
I'm sorry, but I'm sick to death of this idea that we got to placate everybody's nonsense idea. No, because if we do that, then everything gets a pass, and that's just nonsense.
I agree.
What, do I now get to say, well, I don't want to work on Monday because of, I think dragons are real, and they might burn me to death at work if I go in today? No, my boss wouldn't take that. My boss would tell me to get fucked.
Well, then you go find a job or create your own business where you could take your Mondays off, like I do.
There you go. You gotta be, yeah.
It's just silliness. It really is. I mean, if you want beliefs that, like, if you want to look at Christianity and say, I believe there is a God, and for that reason I do good things, that's fine. You go ahead and do that, yeah? But that's where it stops, yeah? For instance, I like Jesus, yeah? He had some sound ideas. Treat others how you wanted to be treated, do unto others. Help the poorest in your communities. You're only as strongest as your weakest link, essentially. and stuff like that. And you know, he who is with little but gives a tiny actually gives a lot, whereas he who gives a little that has a lot gives nothing. They're all wonderful tales. Yeah, he was a great socialist libertarian. I have a lot of I have a lot of agreement with Jesus on a lot of matters. Don't agree that he was the Son of God. I don't believe he died for our sins because some fucking woman ate some fruit because a talking snake told her to. Yeah, but I mean, seriously, there is a level as to which that becomes nonsense. Like, for instance, if, you know, for a game and a bit of fun, you're part of some forum community where you believe that you are, you know, part wolf or a vampire with a soul or whatever, that's fine. When you start thinking that this is legitimately real, yeah, then that's where you cross from acceptable into unacceptable.
Well, Chaz, most of the people in this world, and they believe some kind of afterlife, and again, you know,
Yes,
if they think
a
their body should
psychological
stay
reason.
intact, and you know, I mean, especially you know the Jews, I don't think the Jews cremate. You know, they bury their dead right away, so they don't embalm them. Eventually, it does go back into the ground. I'm more with that. You know, put them you put it in a wooden box, and yeah, you do eventually become fertilized. He's still taking up a grave spot. He's still taking up real estate. But you
Do you know what I
know,
do like? You get these pods now, and you put the body in this pod, and you will
yeah,
your body will break down and fertilize the growth of a tree. That's kind of a nice idea, but
yeah.
that can still be done with parts missing. You know, you can still bury them and think of it as intact, but the brain and the lungs and other bits that can really help people, and spinal cords and stuff like that, which could really help the human race in the long run, isn't there?
Did you see that story? Amazing. The kid, a few years old, and he had lost his hands, and they transplanted one of the first, I think it was the first hand onto a child.
Two hands, wasn't it?
Incredible, huh?
It was two hands, wasn't it?
Maybe it was two hands. Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right.
Well, hold on, bro, Joe. Maybe those hands should have been in the ground, rotting.
I hear you.
And
I know.
That kid should have just spent his life going, if you're happy, engineer, clap your hole.
So you know, as atheism grows, you know, more and more, I'm sure we'll be donating their hands.
Do you think we'll get ambushed again, Brother John?
By what? What do you mean?
Oh, you weren't there last night. I'm sorry. Never mind.
Okay. All right. You're not going to sidetrack me here, are you?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
But what do you think?
Any thoughts on the story that's going on, Sugar? I mean, well, yeah. I brought up there was Satanists outside protesting the anti-Planned Parenthood protests. You know.
Well, what was their position? Why were they against? Or what were they against?
Because of these stories that were coming out about baby parts being.
Oh, yeah, right. I thought that was found to be a sham. I mean, I thought that they found out that wasn't really happening.
Oh no, sure, it was happening, but what it is it's not like they're going, yeah, well, we'll do these abortions, and we'll give you the parts. They're trying to make an offence out of a nothing issue, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be like, I accidentally pushed in front of somebody in McDonald's because I didn't realise they were waiting, yeah? And that person happened to be black, and this suddenly gets turned into racist man pushes in front of black man, yeah? And it's like that.
My thing. Well, I mean, ultimately, when it comes down to the abortions,
mountains out of molehills.
Yeah, you know, I think once the fetus grows to a point where, a heart's beating and pain can be felt, and I guess this is what 12 to 18 weeks or something like that. When it gets to that point, I think it is murder at that point. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize. You
I'm
are
not
able to have.
apologizing. I believe
Don't
in
apologize.
it's life. It's a life.
Right.
And now you go later term, and they're having partial.
I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, if you've seen
But
the
a
video,
parasite's alive.
it's quite disgusting. I can't even stomach it if you ever seen the videos. It's just.
Yeah, I know, but Brojo, here's the thing. A parasite is living, and a parasite can feel pain. Is it wrong then to remove worms from people?
So human life does have more value than a parasite?
When it's a fetus, no.
Well, you have to be a sentient being.
Mm-hmm.
Don't die on this sword, Chazwell. Don't die on this sword.
I'm not going to die on the sword. What I'm going to say is just that, I'm sorry, until a baby can survive outside of the womb by itself, it has no right to life.
And the two of you are talking about 4 weeks from what one to the other, from what one feels and to the other feels. I mean, there's no right answer here. There is no right answer as far as I'm concerned. Nobody should ever have to do that. And like I said during that hangout, until they start taking care of issues that will prevent the majority of pregnancies from even happening, you know what? I won't even discuss it anymore. It's ridiculous. Everybody wants it to be one way or the other. Nobody wants this, but nobody wants to do anything other than have it their way. You know?
People should give out contraception. If we're going to have a government authority, then that government authority should be providing contraception. Like here in the UK, the pill is free. It's not. There's no prescription charge to that. You can at your local health centres get free condoms. Not a lot of people actually know that and should know that more. You can just turn up there and they will give you packs of they will give you like a little bag filled with an assortment of condoms, and that's what we should be doing. We should be providing basic contraception to people.
Theoretically, there's the morning, or there's Plan B. You don't even have to. You don't have to get pregnant anymore. If you think, you know, when you've had unprotected sex, you know when you've had sex, you know, you can make your uterus unhospitable for that to happen. There really is no reason. Inhospitable.
The morning after pill.
Yeah, did I say? I'm sorry. Inhospitable.
You said unhospitable.
And then you know, like when people say, well, don't you make an exception for people who have been raped to, you know,
why?
You know, abortion. They also could take the pill, you know.
But let's not forget. Not every woman who's been raped wants to get rid of that child. My cousin is a victim of. Okay. She's a product of rape and incest. And she's the most wonderful person, and nobody can imagine living without her.
It's such a small percentage of women who do get raped who actually get pregnant. And then
that's because the woman's body magically gets rid of the pregnancy.
So the percentage is going to be even smaller that they want to keep the baby.
Yeah, it's true. But yet, do you know that I did not know that there were as many women out there that chose to keep their babies as there were? No clue. It's almost not discussed. It's a given. Oh, you're raped. It was incest. Oh, you're going to abort that child. But what I keep hearing is these women saying, you know what? Having this baby saved my life. It took the majority of my pain away. I had no clue. No clue.
All right, with the lull in the room, I'm going to go to my last very lighthearted topic. I know Chaz is just dying to know what the hell is this topic, Grace?
What?
Yeah, I have one of the topics, Grace, and I know you think it's going to be more along the religious lines, but it is not. Let me hold on. Let me pull it up here and get a screen share going, and then you can get your laugh. Hold on. Filling you with suspense. There you go. You see it?
Not yet.
Topless Grace Jones, 67,
Oh.
hits the stage in just tribal body paint and mask as she headlines Afro-Punk Festival.
It's
Here's Grace
humanity.
Jones.
Oh. Those
Do you know what? Just looking at the face, do you guys remember the band Dead or Alive?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen what she looks like now?
She looks like a mummy. Looks like a mummy. Yeah.
Just look at that and tell me you don't see. Yeah.
Round, baby, right round.
I wanna know your name now, baby.
Did I ruin your breakfast? Am I ruining your breakfast right now?
Oh, look at it.
It's just as bad as when you see Madonna do it in there.
Yeah.
Although I did like the one where she fell down the stairs and people put in the "This is Sparta" bit.
Oh, nice.
The head looks like it's been photoshopped on another body.
Yeah.
I mean,
the head, actually, I tell you what, the head with that sort of chainmail type thing on, kind of looks like somebody's photoshopped. What's his face from the Holy Grail? Sir Lancelot.
Oh.
It looks like Sir Lancelot's face.
I know.
You sure this isn't just actually John Cleese trolling people?
Yeah. Gross.
Oh my God, that face. Just the face.
Oh, the thighs.
So yeah, there's the Grace story. So Grace Jones still at it at 67, still at it with her antics, and I guess what she thinks made her famous 40 years ago.
God bless her.
Can't wait to show my titties at 67.
I mean, yeah.
Then you just lift up your skirt at that point.
Right. By then I will. I won't have any shame.
There is actually a really funny drawing where there's like this big meathead guy wearing a t-shirt that says "Show us your tits," and there's this old lady next to him at the bus stop, and she just lifts her skirt up.
No. Oh man.
So yeah, that's it. So with that, I'm going off air now. It's after 11, and I'll put the if you guys want to send invites out, open up the room for off air discussion. I'll put a link in the event page, and I'll stick around for a little bit, but I want to get some things done. So thanks for stopping by.
I was waiting outside